So let me welcome all of you and express our excitement and appreciation for the growth of the Roots and the Soul and for soccer more broadly in Oakland and the surrounding region. We know this is a growing sport and an important one in our community. I just want to make sure to note that we are not agendized for any action on this today, nor is there a recommended action before us today. So this is a informational discussion in which we will not be taking action, but we want to appreciate everyone involved and thank you for being here and give you the floor to make your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. We really appreciate you having us here today. I am Lindsay Behrens, the president of Oakland Roots and Oakland Soul. We are the first purpose-driven sports team in the United States, and we are entering our third year as a professional sports club in Oakland. Our purpose is to harness the magic of Oakland and the power of sport as a force for social good. From day one, we have focused on increasing the health, equity, and happiness in Oakland by winning soccer games, developing local talent, improving access to sport, and being a sustainable pro sports team in Oakland. Last year in Oakland, we donated more than $120,000 to causes and underserved communities. With our partners Anthem Blue Cross and Positive Coaching Alliance, we trained and equipped 100 community coaches on how to coach soccer and use sports to teach life lessons such as teamwork, leadership, and resiliency. With Unity Council, we co-hosted the Oakland Street Soccer Cup at the heart of Dia de los Muertos. With Black Cultural Zone, we brought free soccer and equipment to their outdoor play days in East Oakland. And with our 6 purpose partners, which are grassroots nonprofits in Oakland, we hosted at Oakland Roots games hundreds of kids and their parents who otherwise would not have access to professional sports in Oakland. We are also leaders in anti-racism and gender equity work globally. We are a founding member of the Anti-Racist Project, an action-based approach to tackling systemic racism in soccer and society. We helped to launch Switch the Pitch, an anti-racism education program aimed at youth coaches. We are a founding member of Play Proud, an initiative to make soccer safer for members of the LGBTQ+ community. And this year, we are very excited to launch Oakland Soul, our women's soccer team. Soul will begin play this year in the USLW League, a pre-professional league. We plan to promote Soul to Super League, a professional women's league launching in 2024, as soon as we have a venue to accommodate 2 professional teams. In just a few years, the Oakland Roots and Oakland Soul have grown dramatically. We regularly sell out our current game day venue at Laney College. Last year, we distributed over 60,000 tickets. We have nearly 100,000 followers across our social media platforms and more than 50,000 individuals on our mailing list. Our fan net promoter score is over 80. That means people have a really good time at our games. We have fans from every corner of Oakland who represent every neighborhood and community as reflected on this map of our fan base. We are also a proud member of the Oakland business community. We have local partnerships with Oaklandish for merchandise, Line 51 for beer, UCSF Health for healthcare, and East Bay Community Energy is our sustainability partner. This year, we will have partnerships with 17 local bars and restaurants to promote watch parties for our away games. We also have partnerships with the Oakland Zoo and Visit Oakland to promote the town. We have 65 full-time employees and 82 part-time employees. Those numbers will grow significantly when we have our own venue. On game days, we create hundreds of jobs employing local food trucks, local security, local janitorial staff, and members of OPD. Right now, we play our games at Laney College. We love playing at Laney, but we cannot continue playing there beyond 2024. The venue is too small and we cannot accommodate all of our fans or generate enough revenue to cover the cost of putting on our games. Laney rightly puts their students' needs first, but that creates uncertainty for us that we can't have as a professional team. We put down and pick up a soccer pitch for every game. Pitches aren't made for that, and ours is rapidly deteriorating. We want to make Soul a fully professional team, but we can't do that at Laney because there aren't enough available dates to add a second professional team. Finally, the Oakland Roots would like to express our support for AASEG and their redevelopment of the Coliseum. We believe there is a path forward that allows a game day home for Roots and Soul and allows for the full and timely development of the Coliseum property. Oakland is our home. It's where we want to live, train, work, and play our games. So I will turn it over to my colleague, Lydia Tan, to discuss our options for a new game day facility in Oakland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and welcome, Lydia Tan.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you, Lindsay. Can talk a little bit about the more technical aspects of looking for an interim home. As Lindsay mentioned, we're currently at Laney, and that capacity is at 5,000 fans. And she also mentioned we regularly sell out. So when we started to think about what would an interim stadium look like as we are looking for a long-term home, this is the list of things. One is a 10,000 fan capacity so that we can continue to grow. The ability to schedule both the Roots and the Souls team games at the same time, accessible locations, and availability of parking. Our lease with Laney right now expires in 2024, so we're looking for an interim home starting in 2025, which is very quick. And as a result, we started to really narrow our search down to sites that already have the underlying zoning in place so that we could be up and running very quickly. And then the last one, which is really important, is because this is an interim, this would be an interim stadium. The idea of doing as little intervention as possible to make the site ready for us was important. There's a modular stadium system is essentially a kit of parts that get delivered to the site, get assembled up, and once we are ready to leave and move to our permanent home, we can disassemble and carry the stadium away with us. So that was important to us. And aside from technical goals, we also wanted to make sure that there were some qualitative goals that we could achieve as well. One is to expand beyond the stadium and think about ways to activate the local community. How do we leverage our facility to continue to benefit the community? And then improve our fan experience. You may have seen that we had a fan survey that went out recently and got some great feedback about what our fans enjoy about our experience and what they would like us to see change. And so certainly an intimate family experience, something that we're going to try to keep on. Folks love our block party. We have the local food trucks. They'd like to wait less time in those lines, and so we'll have to think about how to address that. But they really love the whole vibe of the local food trucks and really making it a neighborhood party. And then, as Lindsay mentioned, just making sure that we are continuing to invest in our local businesses as we spend dollars. So as we started our search for an interim stadium, we looked at a lot of different ideas. We really appreciate a lot of suggestions that many of our friends and colleagues provided to us. Ultimately, though, we were down to 3 and then really down to 2 that had adequate size, adequate zoning, and that is Alameda Point in Alameda, the base reuse area, and then also the Coliseum. And when we started to approach both the City of Alameda and the Henry at the JPA, as far as Coliseum was concerned, we were very quickly suggested to look harder at Malibu. I think ASM was concerned about us being on the parking lot proper, given that the Coliseum and the arena are still quite active and parking was still needed. So we were really pointed to Malibu and have spent most of our time with Malibu. With respect to Malibu, what we have done to date is really try to do kind of a high level, are there any fatal flaws to the idea of occupying Malibu for an interim period of time? So we did a physical test fit, which I'll share with you in a minute. We had two good beginning conversations with the JPA team about making sure that there was never a point in time where there were 3 events happening at the same time, simply to accommodate the need for parking and coordination. And as we talk through schedules, we actually think that that's a very doable goal. We did some high-level technical due diligence as well, looked at the geotechnical issues, environmental issues on the site. There's a couple of easements on the site, and we have investigated those and had a very quick call with BCDC about their jurisdiction over the creek that is adjoining to the site. And then, talking with the JPA, initial conversations with AASEG to really understand their long-term development plans and to make sure that we are completely aligned in making sure that their plans to redevelop the Coliseum are things that we can support, and we can make sure we structure any plans to make sure that they have a clear pathway to redevelopment. So specifically for Malibu, we are proposing a stadium that has the 10,000 fan capacity. It's really a game day venue. We would not be practicing here. We would be looking for a practice facility in other places. Oops, sorry. And then in terms of the on-site, it would be the stadium and all those operations, and off-site at the Coliseum site, we'd be looking for parking, bike parking facility, and then also pedestrian access from BART. So just a diagram of the areas that we were looking at. You can see the dotted line that would take BART riders down to the site and up to Coliseum Way. And then the blue area would be where we would propose a primary parking B, and then in the triangle is Malibu, is the Malibu site. Just a aerial of the same diagram. This is a test fit. This is not a design, but we needed to understand from a geometry standpoint whether or not we could put a rectangle into a triangle. And it looks like we can. As you can see, we've got the field at a really great north-south direction. There's an electrical easement on the west side, and so we can't build anything permanent there. Something that we can't take away in a day's notice, and so we have stayed away from that area. But we think it's a great opportunity for our block party just to get supersized along there, which means that the bulk of the stands are on the. I'm sorry, that was the east side. The bulk of the stands are on the west side of the field, which is actually really great. And as you can see, the main entry would be right at the corner of Coliseum Way, right next to the parking lot. And just a couple of three-dimensional images that kind of show how this fits on the site. I'm going to hand it back to Lindsay to close us down.
So thank you for this opportunity today. We want to be the first step in the Coliseum redevelopment to kickstart job creation and activity at this site. This stadium will allow us to stay in Oakland, increase our community impact, and search for a permanent home in Oakland. Our plan is flexible and movable, and we are committed to cooperation with all of the parties involved. Thank you for your time.